Hi guys, today I'm here with a super fun video. We're going to be taking a walk down my makeup memory lane, one of my favorite things to do. I actually did a most memorable makeup video earlier this year or last year, which I will link to down below, talking about makeup that's very special to me. So I thought that this was an amazing idea that Taylor created. She's incredible. So I will link to her video down below. Basically, she picked through, and now other people are picking through their first Sephora orders and talking about what they purchased, have they repurchased it, what are their thoughts now. And I thought I would also do demos because I do own some of these products and I have repurchased some of them. So I thought I would show you those products on my face so you can actually see them in action, and then I'll talk you through what I thought of them. Keep in mind, if you are shopping at Sephora, to use your Ebates. It's cash back. I use it all the time and I'm addicted to it. I've been using it since 2012, so around the time I started shopping at Sephora. I'll have links down below, and keep your eyes out for sales at Sephora. It's always a great time during April and November, and they have added a third sale in at the end of this month. I'm not sure when this video is going up actually, but they did add a third sale this year, which is cool. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to mention is something, if you've been following me for a while, you know that this item has just plagued me for some reason. I don't know why, but I haven't been able to get rid of it, and this is why. Like, when I do declutters and people are like, you have so much stuff, I'm like, yeah, but I have a YouTube channel. Things happen. I need a variety of products. That's why I got this guy. So a little background, I purchased this on December 26th of 2011. So this is the Stila In the Light eyeshadow palette, and it has seen better days for sure. I grew up in Newfoundland, which is East Coast Canada, and Newfoundland only got a Sephora about 3 years ago. So basically as soon as I moved out of the province, they got a Sephora. So I actually didn't have a lot of experience not only shopping online on Sephora, but being in a Sephora. So this day, December 26th, 2011 was my first time ever stepping inside a Sephora store, and I had started watching YouTube a few months prior. I was actually going to be Rihanna for Halloween and looked up makeup tutorials and came across beauty YouTube, was basically how it all happened. So I stepped into a Sephora and I wanted to get a Naked palette because I was like, that's what everybody is buying, but the Naked 2 was coming out. So in my mind, I didn't really understand how palettes worked, so I was like, why would I get Naked 2 or Naked 1 when Naked 2 is coming out? So this is why I ended up buying this, even though it's essentially the same kind of shades that were in Naked 1. And I never really used this. I didn't really like it, but for whatever reason, I just had to hold on to it. So I used it today for my look and I thought it was good. I'm missing a bunch of shades in here. It's not the kind of palette that I would necessarily reach for now, but I do think it is blendable, it's buildable, and I mean, I've had this palette for, wow, 7 years? It just kind of hit me how long I've had this palette for. I know if anybody's going to tell me not to put this on my eyes, it's far too late because it's already been done and you're seeing it now, so let's just go along with it. It's for a purpose, but yeah, wouldn't really repurchase this, but it's still special to me because it's kind of the first item. Moving on to my next order, I actually was going to use this to apply my foundation today, but it is dead, and it is the Clarisonic. I purchased this that same time. I was actually in British Columbia for Christmas when I purchased that other palette, and this is when I was in British Columbia. Later the next following year, August 25th, 2012, I bought a Clarisonic, again, completely influenced by YouTube. So although I don't use my Clarisonic anymore as a part of my skincare routine, I absolutely love the foundation brush. Highly recommended. Didn't end up using it today because it's dead. I need to charge it, but definitely still love that. Moving on to the next purchase. This was actually not purchased by me. It was purchased by my grandmother using my VIB account. She was in Vegas on November 9th, 2012, and I wanted some NARS makeup for the most part. So I got her to pick me up the NARS blush in Exhibit A because I was like, I want something that's super unique that I can't find anywhere else, and I felt like this red blush was so cool. And back in the day, I actually wore a lot of really, really bright blushes, and I still love doing that, but I've kind of fallen off the train of doing that, and it actually can be incredibly wearable, although this looks very unwearable potentially, but it just gives a beautiful flush to the cheeks. Whether you have light or dark skin, just go in very, very lightly and blend it out. I still absolutely love this. I think NARS makes incredible blushes, and I know that this kind of demo and what you're seeing is going to be a little bit out of order, but I did want to work my way up the timeline as opposed to kind of being all over the place and telling you things in order of application on my face. So I I still really, really love this. I actually don't have the Bobbi Brown corrector anymore. I used that entire thing up. Really, really liked it. Thought it was great. That was my first ever corrector, and I liked that because it wasn't super orange. It was just a really, really good color for me. It was approachable because a lot of color correctors can just be like so bright and so intense. That was a great one. But I also got her to pick me up this lipstick. Pretty sure Kim Kardashian influenced this. I don't know if I was looking up NARS lipsticks or what it was, but there is a picture of Kim Kardashian and apparently she is wearing this, so that is why I think I got it. It is the NARS lipstick in Shiap, and I still love this shade. I think it's a great shade. I wore this a ton. I used to wear a lot of bright pinks and bright oranges. Not that I don't now, but I did it more. I have definitely gone more nude over the days. And I think it's also partially because I could never find nude shades for my skin tone. I think that things have gotten better now in terms of like the neutrals. They're not all so beige and so light and powdery anymore. Or it's not powdery, but like pastel, I guess. So I have started to delve more into nude, but I still love these kind of shades and I think it's fabulous. I thought I would mention this too, even though I already showed applying another blush. I have two blushes on right now, but this is the Tarte Off the Cuff eyeshadow palette. This is one of their holiday palettes. I still use this and I still love it. I think the packaging is great. I absolutely love the color selection of blushes in here. I really like that you have a nice variety. It's always a bummer when they put bronzers in these palettes, although this kind of works for me. I think that whenever people are releasing holiday palettes, I really wish they would just do at least two for bronzer options, because a lot of people kind of get left out, and I find myself never ever really being overly interested in holiday palettes because there's always like so many shades I can't use. I thought this was a pretty good one, and overall I really, really liked the packaging. I purchased this on September 16th. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so I purchased this on September 16th, 2013, and at this time, I had just graduated university and I was kind of going through a breakup, I guess we'll call it, if we could call that. I don't know. We'll call it a breakup. I was upset. I actually purchased this and a NARS eyeshadow palette. I'm not sure why that's not listed there, but I purchased this because I was feeling very, very down, and I was like, let me drown myself in some makeup and place a Sephora order, because where I didn't live anywhere near a Sephora, I was always a little hesitant to purchase online because I guess I just didn't have as much makeup knowledge and you couldn't return anything. So, so September 16th, 2013, I feel like almost like emotional talking about this because I was so upset. And okay, not gonna lie, I just literally had to take a minute because I was like getting emotional just thinking about this time of my life, because it was a really, really sad time and I felt like shit, honestly. But I had also just adopted Ruse, so that was kind of keeping me afloat. But I was, you know, I was selling cards, I wasn't doing a job that I liked, I felt really unhappy. I was like, you know, I graduated university and, you know, I just started this job selling cards, which I was hopeful about, but that was by no means my dream job. And I was kind of going through this breakup. So I bought this makeup and it definitely helped me feel better, but 5 days after that I met my current boyfriend, so it's just kind of cool. I didn't realize that, you know, just to see that timeline is quite interesting. So end of story. Here I am crying about makeup all the time, but I really, really love this palette, and that's why I can't get rid of this makeup, you know? That's why I love the beauty community, is I think it can be so special, and obviously, like, don't go blow your credit card if you go through a breakup, but it can be special to you for so many reasons. You know, you wore it on a first date, or you wore it when you got a great job, or you accomplished something and you treated yourself. Like, there's so much more to it, and I think the beauty community is just getting so muddled, and so the people that you see rising to the top are just sometimes very ingenuine, and that's what really, really grinds my gears. And that's why I love people like Taylor, because she is so real and she cares and she has a message and she's entertaining and she can do it all without having to sacrifice without having to be ingenuine and just do absolutely ridiculous things to get the views, if that makes sense. So I'm really glad that she started this tag, and this is going way off spiel, but let's move on. Remember OCC? Remember OCC lip tars? I thought that they were just the coolest things ever. Bought them during the holidays on October 19th, 2013, so not long after. They are no longer at Sephora. I'm not sure what their deal is anymore. It's kind of interesting. They've kind of fallen off. They were like a lip lacquer. They called themselves a lip tar. It's definitely not the kind of product that I would reach for right now. I don't like super thick products if they're gonna have a lot of color in them necessarily. It wasn't that they were a bad product, it's just not the kind of thing that I would reach for now. But that being said, I thought it was a cool idea to have the mini lip tars because the big ones you'll basically never run through if you're not a makeup artist. So I like the idea that they had that mini set, but I've since gotten rid of all of those. So the Urban Decay Naked 3, this was actually something that I got for Christmas, but I kind of purchased it for myself because my family never knows what to get me, and I was like, let me buy this and you can give it to me for Christmas. So I got the Urban Decay Naked 3, and this was kind of a mistake, honestly. I felt like a sham of a YouTuber, even though my channel was very, very small at the time, because I didn't have any naked palettes. They didn't appeal to me. A lot of eyeshadow palettes never really appealed to me that much. I had my Lorac ones that I loved, but nothing was ever warm and gold. So the fact that this was marketed as a rose gold palette, I was really, really excited about. But when I got it, it was rose gold, but definitely on the cooler side of rose gold, which is not my jam at all. Like light frosty pinks, the mauves, almost like gray undertones. It really did not do it for me. I actually ended up selling it months later. I think I got an Urban Decay Naked 3 from them. It might be back there in my collection. Either way, I don't reach for it. The Naked Heat and the Naked Petite Heat are much more up my alley. Moving on to February 4th of 2014, I think I shipped this order to my friend in the United States because maybe the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette came out before in the United States than it did in Canada, but I can't totally remember. Either way, I also purchased the Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade. Loved this for years. Used this today for the first time and was pleasantly surprised. First of all, it's not completely dried out. The way I like to use this, and yes, I use the product that's like 4 years old. It's not a big deal, but I like to wipe off a little bit in the cap for any pomade. I give you this advice because it just takes off so much extra product, and where I love like a thin pencil, I like a more natural brow. I really don't like it to be too dark. I actually found this much quicker and easier than I kind of expected it to be, so I may start dipping back into my pomades because I've been using my small micro pencils for so long that using a pomade seems like it would take a really long time, but it was actually quite quick. Then I'm kind of regretting not using the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. I want to do like a throwback, another like Shop My Stash makeup tutorial video. I did one earlier this year, but I want to use this because it smells so good. But I bought it and I used it a little bit, but I haven't used it in years, and it's just one of those kind of like OG palettes. So let me know if you would like a Shop My Stash video. I have no issues with this palette. It's just I have a lot of palettes, and I'm, you know, more inclined to reach for the newer ones because those are the ones I'm getting questions about. But a lot of us have this sitting in our collection and we're not using it, and we're always looking forward instead of, you know, taking a minute and looking back. So I definitely want to do a better job of those Shop My Stash style videos. It's just very hard when, you know, I'm trying to grow my channel, and a good way to grow my channel is to talk about new products because that's what people are searching for. But at the same time, I think it's important to, you know, give Chocolate Bar a little bit of love. And it is a nice palette. It's not like, it's warm, but it's not like fiery warm. So I think it's quite approachable and a great everyday palette. It's something I've recommended to a lot of people, and the quality is quite good as well. So definitely I wanna revisit this guy. So moving on to January 24th of 2015. This was the day before my 25th birthday, and my friends and I flew to Halifax for the weekend, which was super fun. Halifax is in Nova Scotia. It's in, you know, pretty close to Newfoundland. It's about an hour-and-a-half flight, and they had a Sephora there. So obviously I went and did some shopping while I was there. So I picked up that Anastasia Beverly Hills brush number 12. I think that's somewhere here in my makeup collection. I ended up using an e.l.f. brush that's quite similar for my eyebrows today. I also left out the fact that I purchased a Gimme Some More lip kit, those favorites kits. I purchase those basically every year and absolutely love them. But in one of those kits, I fell in love with one of the Makeup Forever Aqua Lips in the shade 3C. So I ended up purchasing this one in 14C. I've been told that these are being discontinued, and that breaks my heart because there's some products that I have a hard time buying if they're high end, and lip liners is one of them because there's so many good drugstore lip liners, but these were one that I made an exception for, and I think they're incredible. So Makeup Forever, please don't get rid of them. But I absolutely love this, still love it. This is actually the one that I bought. I've gone through 2 of the 3C shade. This is 14C Rosewood, and they're incredible. So if they do happen to go on sale or something because they're being discontinued, pick it up. Also, while at Sephora this day, I did pick up the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo. I have reviewed that foundation twice actually because it had like 2 different bottles. So I'll link those down below. Right now, I'm taking a hiatus on mentioning her products. I don't really know. I wasn't really gonna like formally mention it, but I figured I would just briefly there. But what I did buy that day and have repurchased and love and still love is the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer. I think this is incredible. It's pricey. There's not a ton of product in there, but I feel like I know a lot of people who are addicted to it and buy it over and over and over again, even though it hurts your soul. Yeah, I really love this, still use it, and repurchased it, which is quite a big deal for me. And then lastly, I'm gonna end it on May 15th of 2015. I kind of wanted to go like all the way up a little bit further just so that I could get not a completely full face, but near a full face of makeup products. So I felt like Becca Opal was really the first highlighter that caught my eye, and that was when I think I joined the highlighter game. I don't know, I'm trying to think back if I used other ones before that, but this was definitely one that stuck out to me. I also purchased the Murad Oil Control Mattifier. I talked about that in a moisturizers for oily skin video, and I have since used that up and really liked it. What I haven't reached for in so long is Becca Opal, and I kind of thought it was going to be a little light on my skin. It's beautiful. There's a reason that this was one of the first and kind of like paved the way. Incredible texture, so glowy, not shimmery, not overdone. It's so beautiful, and I felt like feel like this color is so flattering on so many people. So if you own Opal, like, break it out again. Give it some love. It paved the way and then got pushed to the side, but it's beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. This was super fun to pick through my old orders and, you know, dredge up some old memories, good and bad. Let me know down below what some of your first purchases were and what you think about them now. And if you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.